Now, if we're looking at nutrition and recommendations and strategies for improvement in her nutrition, we already identified the weaknesses as that she does eat too much sugar in her diet. She does eat too many saturated fats. She doesn't eat enough fiber, and she definitely doesn't eat enough fruit or vegetables she should be drinking. She's having too many caffeinated drinks, not enough water, which I have already spoken about. There are various ways we can combat this. I've come up with a few strategies that I think could be really important to her. So I think it would be really good if she could start keeping a food diary, tracking what she's eating. Therefore, she can look back on it and see when she knows she's not eating correctly. And it would also be really good if she could sort of check in with me, like I said down here, every week about the food diary, so I can then give my opinion back on this and whether I think she's eating correctly and if she's eating the right amounts of the right foods. If she doesn't know what she should be drinking and eating, mainly eating, then there are ways and means of doing this. I can potentially start providing recipes to her, or we could get her to speak to a nutritionist, and see if we can find different ways of eating different sorts of meals. Because as she said previously, she's eating for convenience. There's definitely healthier sort of foods out there that are still very convenient. I feel like this is probably sort of a way of her saying she's cooked the same thing for a really long time. She doesn't really know how to change it. She's in a bit of a rut about it. Another way of really adapting this and getting her to eat more of a balanced diet is to plan these meals in advance. If she was to sort of either set herself a weekly menu and then buy this specific stuff from the supermarket so she knows that that's what she has in the cupboard to eat, this would be really helpful. Really helpful for her. Or there is also the idea that, say, of a Sunday or a Saturday, she could meal prep in a way that she would sort of cook already certain meals or cook her lunches for the week or set out breakfast. You can do things like overnight oats for breakfast, which are really healthy with frozen fruits, oats, yogurts that can sit in the fridge. These then can be picked up and eaten in the morning rather than pouring yourself a bowl of cereal with milk, which isn't quite as good for you. Obviously, there are good cereals you can be eating, but more often than not, people eat cereals with, lots of chocolate in or things. And then we would look to sort of say, don't decrease your daily calories too rapidly. Just start by replacing the food types, because we don't want anyone to go hungry. But if we just replace these bad foods with good foods, they will automatically have less calories in them. So the choice to sit and eat a Kipling cake versus an apple, the same amount of food fills you up in the same way. However, one is significantly better for you than the other and significantly full of less calories. And then with this combating the water caffeinated drinks things, there are various things you can do. A really good thing I think that would be really beneficial to my client would be to download an app on your phone that, even through, I think, the health apps these days, they can ping you with reminders that say, have a drink of water. And if you were to drink a glass of water every time your phone told you to, 8 times a day, you would easily surpass the amount that you should be drinking. Or another thing we can suggest is, if you go and have a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, just think and replace this with a glass of water, because you clearly are sort of dehydrated, you're looking to have a drink. So it's a really good way of doing this. So if we're looking at now physical, rather than nutritional recommendations and strategies, her physical activity level weaknesses that we can identify is that she has a sedentary job. She works 4 days a week, sat down at a desk for 9 to 5. She doesn't do any activity really currently. Walking is about as far as it goes. She's asthmatic, which is a problem we do need to take into consideration. She isn't very motivated at starting these activities. She's not really looking forward to this. But these are all ideas that we can combat very, very easily. So there are a few main strategies that I have pinpointed here. So we start exploring various types of exercise. It's evident that with the low levels of motivation, she doesn't want to just start running a couch to 5K. She doesn't want to just start running down the street every day because I've told her to. Looking at the previous types of exercise she's done, I think it would be really beneficial for her to work out with a friend or attend classes. We could maybe get her into gyms when they start opening back up, start doing step-up classes, cycling classes, Zumba, or we would look at maybe swimming, or even sort of, riding a bike rather than going for a walk. A really good thing that we can try fitting in with the work schedule and having kids is trying HIIT workouts. These are really, really beneficial to her, would be really good for burning calories in a really short period of time. So we can do a HIIT workout that's sort of anywhere between 10 and 20 minutes, which she can use to, burn calories really quickly. And, she's not thinking about, oh my God, I've got to do an hour's worth of exercise now. She's thinking, right, well, I'll do a quick 15 minutes and I'm done. It really works out for her like that. So we'll also look to implement, if she could just try and take short breaks from her work desk, take either like a short walk in a half an hour's lunch break, or just sort of get up from her desk more often, say, every 20 minutes, if she could take a walk to get a glass of water. Obviously, this isn't always going to be available, especially not if she's in meetings, or if she's really got important work she needs to be doing. If she can just take a short break every now and again, this would be really good for her to just get her steps up, all sorts of things, it gets her heart pumping, everything else. Then we would look to really sort of look into progressive overload. So we're not going to immediately ask her to start lifting, 20k, 30k. It's just not going to work for her. So we would look to slowly build up intensity, both with the time she exercises for, the amount she's exercising, the type of exercise, all of these sorts of things. So if we were getting her into a gym, we were looking to start with muscular exercise. We start with just 2 to 5 kg. We're not really working too hard at the moment before we can up these intensities as we go. We would also look to set a time limit for these specific goals that she has. So although she hasn't given me sort of a certain goal, she's not looking to lose 2 stone in the next 4 months. We'd look to set a time limit so that we can see how well she's doing, and it also is a big confidence boost for her and herself. So before we start, if we were to look at doing fitness testing, we would look to either do sit-ups, step-ups, sort of a Cooper run, a multi-stage fitness test, see where our client is at. If we then get her to train for 6 weeks, for example, this could be less, it could be 4, it could be 8, it could be 10, any sort of time, we would look to then retest these things so that we can see whether she's improved or not. And for us to see she's improved is a great thing, but also if she can see her herself has improved, these bring high levels of motivation for her, and she is more likely to continue on going the way she is.